We are Mike and Jeannie, and we restore old houses. In 2021, we moved to South Carolina and bought a 120-year-old Victorian house. Follow along as we put the polish back on this Victorian masterpiece.
Welcome back to 1834 Restoration House.
It's a beautiful day here in South Carolina. This is the kind of day that you wish would last all summer long. Unfortunately, it doesn't. In a couple months, it's going to be hot and humid, and we won't be able to work outside. So we're trying to get done what we can while we can. You can tell we're in the backyard right now, and I'm planning on doing a little bit of work to this chimney base right here in preparation for building an outdoor kitchen. We're not planning on building the outdoor kitchen right away, but this old chimney base here is badly deteriorated, and I'm concerned that it'll continue to crumble and fall apart. So today, we're going to try to restore this back to sound condition. Mortar doesn't stick very well to mud, so I needed to clean that out first. Okay guys, let's have some fun here. So I'll take a little bit of mortar here on the trowel, and I mixed it up a little bit stiff this time because I want it to have some body. And I'm just going to take it and just start pushing it in. There are a lot of places back there where there's no mortar or it's deteriorated. So it really needs to get filled really good. Today I'm using a Type S cement mortar, and in the past I've talked a lot about lime, and if we could get it I would use it, but this thing was built with cement mortar in the first place, so I don't have any qualms about putting it back in here. So again, I'm just shoving it in, trying to fill up the voids. This is getting a little bit stiff, so we're going to add just a touch of water to it, not too much. There we go. I think the best time to do this kind of work is on a cloudy day when it's not too hot. If you go way back in our catalog of episodes, some of our earliest videos involve doing just this kind of thing. We had an old mansion up in New York State, and the basement walls were pretty much in this condition. And so we mixed up lime mortar, which we were able to get when we were there, and we did a lot of pointing. Did a lot of work, and those basement walls ended up looking really nice. If you got some extra time after this episode, go back and watch some of those. It's kind of fun. All right, I've got a little bit of a problem here. As you can see, this whole area here is undercut, and I don't know if there was masonry down here or if it was just soil. It is possible that soil was here and it washed away over the years, but that's a problem. So what I'm going to do to solve that is I've collected a bunch of rubble, and I'll take a little bit of mortar and just throw it in there. And I'll take that rubble and just stick it in. That way I've got something solid to fill with. And it doesn't have to look perfect because it's going to get covered anyway. Okay, that one doesn't want to go in very well, so what do we do? Maybe try another one? How about this one here? Okay, that one fits a lot better. Sometimes you just have to play with them, try something different if one doesn't work. And then, once that's done, I can go ahead and continue like I was, just shoving mortar down into the hole. Right now everything is all loose, and it will probably stay that way for a while until this sets up, but let's just get it all shoved in there. If you're wondering why it's important to do that, why not just fill it up full of mortar? The reason is because mortar by itself doesn't have as much strength. But when you combine it with any kind of masonry, like rocks, stones, bricks, even pieces of old concrete, it really makes it a lot stronger. All right, this area here is shaping up pretty well. I've left some of it undone on purpose because that's a pretty deep fill, and I want the part that's in there to go ahead and set up before I add any more. And I purposely left it rough. That way, the new mortar will have something to kind of latch onto. So I've turned my attention to this corner right here, and I found the perfect rock to fill this in with. It's kind of like that. I may have to play with it a little bit to see if I can find the right shape. Yeah, I think that might work, maybe, or what if I turn it around this way? Or even like that. I think that's pretty good right there. So I'll go ahead and I'll drop some mortar in there. Just want to lay it in and not get it all over the ground like I just did here. I'm trying really hard not to touch it with my bare hands, so it's challenging. I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll put the rock back in. Yeah, I think like that would probably work well. That seems to fit. So now that I've got that, that's going to take up a lot of the space, and then I'll just go ahead and just start tucking in some mortar. Want to get it up in there behind. And under, of course. I also need to put some on top. This is a building technique that's as old as civilization itself, which is really cool because we're still doing it today. I love that. I need to make sure that I get enough mortar packed in there because I really want to just brace it really well. And if I can continue shoving mortar in there, that means it's not filled. So I'll just keep doing that until it won't take anymore. Well, that was exciting. This thing didn't want to stay put, so I had to use a brick to hold it. And I shoved it in there really good with a lot of mortar, and it's starting to firm up. But I'll leave this brick here for now, just to hold it in place. This corner here is shaping up nice, but I still have a lot of space back here that needs to be filled, so we need more stones. So let's move on back over here where we started and see if we can finish this up. When this was originally built, I think what they did is built some wooden forms here and then just filled it up with mortar and stones and just kind of shoved it all in there. Now take a look at this pattern right here. This was probably rough sawn lumber that left these impressions here. All right, this is firm, but not set. So let's go ahead and put some more in there. We'll fill this up if we can. I'm having a little trouble with adhesion, so I'm just going to mist this up real quick. There we go. Oh yeah, that's much better. Well, as you can see, this is more tedious than laying bricks. Let's take a quick break here because a couple of episodes ago I went ahead and I repointed all this brickwork right here, and I don't think I ever really showed you how it turned out, but I think it looks really good and feels solid as a rock. I don't think this is in any danger of falling apart now. This microphone pack has been with us since about 2021, and it's been on every single episode that we've ever put out since then. It's been in crazy places, and it's seen a lot of action. But we had a little bit of a miracle happen today. So the belt clip on the back here, which holds it onto the back of my belt, fell off, and we couldn't find it. We've been out here working in the grass, and so we assumed it was in the grass, and we got down and we looked everywhere. We went back and forth, couldn't find it anywhere. Went in the house, it wasn't there. I checked my pockets, checked my belt, everything. It was nowhere to be found. And we finally just gave up on it, and we decided to take a break. We go into the office and we sit down, and right about that time I hear something clatter to the floor, and we both turned around, and there it was. I don't know where it was, but it came out of nowhere, and there it was. So I can't explain it. Anyway, it's back, and we're back in business. So let me go ahead and put this back on where it belongs. I'd like to show you what we got done today. Remember how this was all undercut and open and ragged? So I got that filled in and mortared up. It's looking real good, so I'm going to let that sit overnight. I have one more thing to do here. I need to clean this mess up. Well, there it is, ready for another 100 years of service. The last thing we plan to do on this episode is see if we can get these trees out of here, because they're growing in places where they shouldn't be growing, and it's time for them to go. We have Jeannie on the tractor, and I have a series of creative knots down here that hopefully will hold on. So let's go ahead and try it. Yeah. Well, it looked like that wasn't going to work, and then it did.
Sweet.
So I don't know if it's good enough that I can pull it out the rest of the way, or
Looks like it.
maybe. Looks like it took a little bit of the concrete or brickwork.
You have to undo the knots and.
Yeah, I need to get my gloves and pull on it.
Okay.
So I think we're missing the obvious here. I believe that if Jeannie pulls forward, it'll just come right out. So go ahead and see what happens. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's tree number 2. We're going to try pulling up again with the 3-point hitch, just like we did on the last one. And if we're successful, then Jeannie will roll forward and yank the thing right out of the ground. You know what? When the last one came out, it broke some of the brickwork, and I don't care, because we can fix that, right?
That's right.
Yep. Okay, let's try it.
Okay.
All right, we got it. Once again, we broke some brickwork, but that's a small price to pay for getting these buggers out of here. They are persistent and tough, as is most everything else that grows in the South.
Woohoo!
Yeah, good deal. Good deal. I think that's the last of the trees. How does it feel to get back outside again and do some work?
It would be better if there weren't mosquitoes. I forgot to turn this on. There's a mosquito on my hand.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Ah!
Yeah.
But I do love the cool breeze today, and the weather has been phenomenal.
Yep.
It's not going to last long, but I am enjoying it right now.
I know. This is one of those times when the humidity is low and it just feels good.
Yes.
But that humidity will come,
It will.
as it always does in the summertime. So, All right. Well, I'm feeling good about what we did. We got that chimney base over there partially fixed.
Yeah?
We still have 3 more sides to do.
Yes.
And we got those trees out.
Yep. It'll take time, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching 1834 Restoration House.